Someone left a comment and asked for me to make a video about this issue of the Jews not being a race. He says he hasn't heard of it before, something like that. And I just got some comments quoting history from the Bible and various sources and showing how it's fraudulent, which agrees with my perception. I thought, well, I'll just read it out. I'll just read out all the evidence proving it. But then when I looked at it, I don't want to read that stuff. I don't want to read biblical figures and all this history. And it's just not me. But I have a personal experience. I know firsthand about it. My mother's parents were adopted, and her mom was not Jewish. I didn't find out until I was an adult. It's of no blemish from any viewpoint, as far as I'm concerned. It has its consequences, and one learns from it. But like everything else in life, you just assume, well, I'll just tell the truth and carry on. But no, there's a whole body of people terribly concerned about what is being said. They essentially want one to claim the Jewish identity. But that's contrary to everything we've been taught. And since then, of course, I've met many other people in sinless shoes or parading as Jews, and they're not. And this is the powers that be, that they instill this upon everyone. They themselves obviously know it's irrelevant, that it's all nurture and not nature. But we're all indoctrinated to believe that the brains are in the genes, or that there's something in the genes unique. And that explains how you can go out and kill Palestinians or Alawites or whoever it happens to be, because you feel there's a genetic difference. This is a huge indoctrination. And irony of ironies, all we're doing is destroying all homogeneous genetic groups of people. So it's too sophisticated to really understand the mentality behind it all. But there are huge efforts made to ensure that everybody believes there's a Jewish gene, and not least the Jews themselves. But really, they're on the planet to ensure all these human rights are upheld, and they enforce them, and it requires security and surveillance and corruption and everything else we know about. So I'll just try and go over it one more time. There's a huge, powerful body trying to ensure that somehow our respectability is tied in with lineage and ancestry. Now, it's a very romantic notion, and I would accept that there's forms of reincarnation which we can kind of mistakenly apply to ancestry and lineage. But anyway, it's within everyone to have a sentimentality for such things. However, there are exceptions, and these truths cannot be spoken about. Everyone has to be running around championing their ancestry, and you'll see it with drunks in the pubs, and you'll see it with people discovering it on the internet through Google searching, and everyone taking great pride in this. Well, some of us don't have that luxury. And the Jews are not Khazars. There's a lot of them, probably the Talmudic religious ones, that no doubt do come from Khazaria. They're not the majority of the population running around claiming a Jewish identity. They're a minority. And I wonder of what relevance or importance it is. Because clearly it's all, people are marrying out and looking different these days. So I don't know how well I've approached the subject, but people pinning a Jewish identity on me is not correct genetically. Culturally, yes, and I have learned that it is only an issue of nurture and culture. I've met people, Israelis, that have been adopted or that haven't had Jewish mothers, and they've been as gung-ho as those that have had, and swallowed the supremacist ideology. But it's all being indoctrination. It's clearly indoctrination, and ironically, it's now permeated throughout the world. The PLO and the Palestinians are talking about the Jewish people. They're recognized as a unique genetic pool. And in China, you had to talk about the emperor. And it's no different to that. And people are walking around with Stars of David and getting them tattooed on themselves, thinking it's the correct thing to do.